Welcome back to Tim and Sid. I'm Tim McAuliffe. Sitting beside Sid Xero. Leafs visit the Capitals tonight. Scotiabank Wednesday night hockey. Our coverage begins 6:30 Eastern with Hockey Central on Sportsnet. And our good friend Elliotte Friedman will, as always, be a part of the panel. You can check out his 31 Thoughts column on sportsnet.ca. Elliotte joins us now for 3 of 31, brought to you by the Next Generation 2019 GMC Sierra Denali with the world's first available 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Frege, welcome back to the show, homie.
Thanks, boys. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
We're doing.
You know, Sid, I completely forgot. I had tickets to that game last night. I completely forgot about it till it was on.
Well, that's not the biggest compliment to Canada soccer, then, is it? Yeah, if it's Springsteen tickets, you'd have been there, no problem.
No question about it.
No problem. Springsteen.
Yeah. See, that's part of the problem. The guy forgot. This guy's in sports. We talked about this. 17,000 means something.
Are you a soccer guy, Frege?
You know what? I like it here and there. One of my first big breaks out of university was with the Corriere Canadese, the Italian paper, 94 World Cup. I wrote in English for them on soccer. I don't claim to know it like you know it, but I like it.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. And next time you have tickets, please go. It's a fun time.
Someone's just going to remind me that the game is on, then I'll go.
All right, well, Canada Soccer has responsibility there too, but I'll do my best to get you up to date, Frege. Right. Taylor Hall, Frege, your 31 Thoughts was out. A lot of interesting stuff as usual. The Taylor Hall conversation and his deal, is this the conversation we're going to be having between now and, say, I don't know, the trade deadline this year?
I'd be shocked if New Jersey doesn't turn its season around. I would be shocked if it lasted until the trade deadline. I would assume it would be before that. You know, I think if they don't get going in the next few weeks, it is going to be all over the place. It's already started to. I mean, one of the reasons I really waited a lot. I mean, you don't want to be seen as like a panic monger or something that's creating a fire where it isn't there. But there's no question that this is, as New Jersey has struggled to win, this has started to become more and more of a conversation around the league. How long will they wait? And, you know, I think the other thing, too, is the Devils know if they're not looking like a consistent playoff team, the chances of him staying are extremely unlikely. So they know they have to get going. I mean, they made a pretty interesting move today behind the bench, and they realize if it doesn't change, they're going to have to start having these conversations with other clubs.
Can they trade him to Edmonton?
Oh, my God.
You know, I got to tell you, I always worry about what goes of these things, but it would not surprise me at all if Edmonton is a big suitor here.
Oh, really?
I don't know if they can make a trade. Like, I don't know if they have enough to make the deal, but it just wouldn't surprise me if there's, put it this way, it has long been believed that if Edmonton had a chance to correct and bring him back, that they would be interested. But there's a new GM there now, so we'll see.
But I mean, we all know that feelings got a little hard after that deal was made, especially on Taylor's end.
Yeah, it was on our show.
Have they softened? Yeah. Listen, I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to radio you.
No, it's okay. Like I don't mind. Like you know, Sid, like time heals all wounds, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get pissed off at people, things go sideways, and, you know, things change, life changes. Just because you're mad at somebody today doesn't mean you're going to be mad at them in 6 months, although all three of us, we have long memories.
Yes.
But,
advice I do not heed, Frege. Yeah. Advice I do not heed.
A little better than you guys, I think.
Yeah. Put it this way, if it ever comes to that, I wouldn't be surprised if Edmonton is in on this.
Oh, Frege laying it down early.
That would be serious NHL juice.
My God, just as exciting as the Canada-USA game last night.
That you missed.
That you missed, by the way. That's a big no-no. All right, speaking of Edmonton, something else in your 31 Thoughts column was playing time. Now, obviously, they got the big horses, Draisaitl and McDavid. You got to play them. What's the risk in playing them too much, do you think?
I think it's always tougher if you're in the Western Conference. Your travel schedule's worse. I think that's always harder on the players. I mean, one thing that happens, though, in the West, you don't practice as much, so maybe that's some way that you can relax it. You know, McDavid and Draisaitl at ice time for forwards last year, they were 1 and 2. They were right up there in even strength playing time. I think they were 1-3. But the big one is, can you guys put those numbers up again? Because, you know, I want to refer to them for people who are watching. And for those of you who are on radio, McDavid is second at 23.10 among forwards. Draisaitl is at first at 25.08. McDavid is only up about 20 seconds from last year. The big one is Draisaitl. He's up, I don't remember the exact number, but it's just under 3 minutes. So Draisaitl's at 25.08. He's playing more than any other forward on a per-game basis. We have not had a forward in the NHL average over 25 minutes in 17 years. Wow. The last guy to do it was Pavel Bure, right at the turn of the century, and there's only 4 guys who've ever done it. Bure did it twice, Joe Sakic did it, Jaromir Jagr did it, and Paul Kariya did it. We haven't had a forward this decade even anywhere. The only guy this decade who's even close to 25 minutes was Ilya Kovalchuk, who did it twice when he played for the Devils. So I don't know if this is going to last, and I don't know if it can humanely last for Draisaitl as good as he is. Like, can he keep up this pace? But we haven't had a player play the amount that Draisaitl's playing over the length of a full season in almost 20 years.
All right, there's a lot going on in Ottawa right now. Some of it I want to talk about. I don't know if we should rationalize it in any way, shape, or form. But let me ask you this before we get into that. Is what's going on in Ottawa a president search still?
No, that's off. I was able to get that confirmed on, and it was president of hockey operations. I was able to get that confirmed on the weekend. That is off at least until the end of the season, according to Eugene Melnick. Now, I don't know if it's going to go at the end of the season. It's possible that they're happy with the job that Pierre Dorion does. I mean, you got 2 great contracts signed this year in Colin White and Thomas Chabot. I don't know, I don't know what's going to be a successful season on the ice. We know this is going to be a rebuild year. I think you want the team to compete. But at least right now it's off until at least the end of the season. Now, the other thing was, it was believed, and I think Brian Burke was actually the first guy to report it, but there was a league executive who was involved in the search. Now, I think that was Glenn Sather. I have not been able to get that confirmed, but I don't know if he'll be involved or that person will be involved when this starts up again either.
All right. The other thing in Ottawa is the most 2019 thing I've ever said on air, and I am almost ashamed to do it. Yeah, why not?
Good for you.
There's Ottawa got really excited about a screen grab of a Snapchat from someone named Catherine Kraft, who people thought was the granddaughter of Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, and started talking about them buying the Ottawa Senators. Is there any legitimacy to this story at all from what you have heard? I feel even bad asking you this.
No, it's okay, because we did work on it. Yeah, Chris Johnston talked about it on Headlines a couple of weeks ago. You know, the Patriots were the ones who got back to me through a spokesman and explained that that is not Robert Kraft's granddaughter. Now, if you go through her Instagram, there are some legitimate photos there that make it look like she has a connection to the Patriots, but they're not related. This is what I can tell you about Kraft. I think it's their, I can't remember what it's called, but they basically have an equity firm that handles sports. And I don't think they're interested in buying the Senators. I don't believe that. But what I have heard, and a few teams have told me this around the NHL, is that there have been occasions in the past few years where that Kraft group has looked at real estate opportunities around arenas. And I believe that has involved a couple of NHL teams. I'm not going to say who because I'm still working on it. But I've heard of at least 3 teams that Kraft group has been in contact with for the ability to develop around their arenas. So if you were to tell me that they were interested in some sort of real estate play around either where the Senators play now or where they could potentially play in the future, yes, based on what I understand, I think that could be a possibility. But actually owning the team, I doubt that. You know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I believe that Eugene Melnick will only sell the Senators if financially forced to do it. He loves being the owner of the Ottawa Senators. It is his identity. And the people who know him tell me that he knows that the day he ever sells the Senators, he goes back to being just a guy and not Eugene Melnick, owner of the Ottawa Senators, and that is very important to who he is. So, and also, he just bought, his company just bought a company last week that is doing concussion research work in North America. So I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Okay.
Freach, good stuff. We got to go. Caps and Leafs tonight on Sportsnet. Scotiabank Wednesday Night Hockey. Elliotte Friedman.
He's coming back like in about 20 minutes.
Oh, I know. And we bothered him, and he was cool about it. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Freach.
All right, guys, take care.
Go to the game next time.
Fake Canadian soccer fan, Elliotte Friedman.